Hello, Sports Mockery fans. My name is Aldo Soto, and I'm back with some Cubs news as the team lost another starting pitcher, and actually two starting pitchers on Monday night, as Jon Lester is signing with the Washington Nationals and Tyler Chatwood is signing with the Toronto Blue Jays. Now, before we get into the details and what this means for the Cubs in 2021, beyond the direction of the team, make sure to subscribe to us here on YouTube so you don't miss out on any of our breaking news coverage, rumor talk, and gambling content. Make sure to visit the website, sportsmockery.com, for all the up-to-the-minute news on the Cubs, White Sox, Bears, Bulls, and Blackhawks, and even more gambling content. Again, that is sportsmockery.com. This video is brought to you by our good friends at the William Hill Sportsbook in Illinois. Make sure to download the William Hill Sportsbook in Illinois betting app, and you can claim a $300 risk-free bet on your very first wager if you click on the link in the description. Use the promo code MOCKERY300 when signing up. Download the William Hill Sportsbook in Illinois betting app. Finish your registration, and after your first deposit, your very first bet is risk-free up to $300. Again, to unlock that offer, you have to use the promo code MOCKERY300. You can start by clicking the link in the description. Alright, so we kind of knew this day was coming. It was going to come eventually. It was going to be either this offseason or next offseason. I mean, Jon Lester wasn't going to pitch for the Cubs forever. He was either going to retire as a Cub, or he was going to sign elsewhere, give it one last chance. And turns out that the Cubs lowballed him. According to David Kaplan, his little 2-minute recap after the news broke that Jon Lester is signing a one-year deal with the Washington Nationals. ESPN 1000's David Kaplan went on Twitter and said, the Cubs offer was like nothing close to what the Nationals are offering him. And now the terms haven't been official yet, but according to Kaplan, it's going to be a $4 million deal for 2021. All the reports originally had it, Jeff Pass and I think Ken Rosenthal, they reported it was going to be a one-year deal with a mutual option for 2022, but then Passan, updated that report and said it's just a one-year deal for 2021. David Kaplan saying it's for $4 million, and also saying that the Cubs just didn't come anywhere close to that figure to bring back Lester for one more year.
The Cubs could have kept Jon Lester. He wanted to be here. He wasn't looking to break the bank. He got $4 million and some incentives from the Nationals. The Cubs offer wasn't close. That's embarrassing.
I mean, I'm still kind of dead inside over the Yu Darvish trade and just the direction that the team is going right now. There's no news about the Cubs actually adding anyone good to upgrade the roster for 2021. So all these moves, it's just and again, the frustrating thing about this Lester deal is not it hurts, yeah, because he's always gonna be a legend. Cubs legend, was their second best pitcher during the World Series year. All the big games that he pitched in the postseason, and he's gonna go down as the greatest free agent signing in the Cubs history until hopefully they have another one eventually. But you talk about him, Andre Dawson, that one-year deal, and then he won MVP. And Ben Zobrist too. But Jon Lester, this run from 2015 through 2020, you can say all the faults this team had last couple of years, but we're talking about the most successful period in Cubs history. And it really started with getting Jon Lester, Theo and company, convincing him that the team was going to take the next steps to become a real competitor, and they did. And it started with Jon Lester. He was the first big acquisition there through free agency. And as I still remember his first year in 2015 when fans were upset because he started off slow. He had a rough first month, and you already had fans complaining about him. And then at the end of the season, he finished off with basically his career numbers. And hopefully maybe it's going to be a Hall of Fame career one day. But again, Cubs legend. And it's frustrating. Just for me, it's more frustrating because what are the Cubs going to do for 2021? What is the point of all these moves or non-moves, I guess? Because you also have to think about all the reporting that's been done about how teams are going to need a whole bunch of arms because of the weird 2020 season This is like the fourth or fifth time I'm bringing this up, but like teams are just going to need a whole bunch of arms just to get through the 162 game season because of the weird short year and the pitchers, ramping up, ramping down, ramping back up in such a short period. Their arms just aren't used to that. So like who knows how that's going to affect them for a normal 162 game season. Not only do the Cubs lose Jon Lester to the Nationals, $4 million reported by David Kaplan, but Tyler Chatwood, for all the lows that Cubs fans been through him, eventually he was like an okay guy. And then he got some injuries in 2020. Obviously, that contract was a complete bust during his time with the Cubs. I don't think there's going to be many Cubs fans upset or crying over the loss of Tyler Chatwood, but in terms of just like the rotation depth, the guys you need to get through a season now, you just lost 2 more starting pitchers, and I mean, you can count Jose Quintana too, that's going to be 3. And of course there's the Yu Darvish trade, that is 4. The Cubs are now down to, Kyle Hendricks. Hopefully Edward Alzolay can get through a whole year. Then you have Alec Mills. Then you have young guys. You have, Corey Abbott, who they added to the 40-man roster. And then, they just signed Shelby Miller to like a $800,000 deal. And then he can get like $1.5 million with incentives. So cool. There's just the sign of the times here for the Cubs. It stinks. Like, I'm not gonna be like, oh, you shouldn't be mad, Jon Lester. I don't think Jon Lester's gonna be like a, a game changer for the Nationals. I think he'll be like an okay number 5 starter for them. But is he gonna be a real game changer for them? Like, probably not. He's been on a steady decline for a few years now. But hey, if you're gonna be upset, if you're upset about it, it's like, I mean, yeah, it is kind of sad that a guy that represented the best, time to be a Cubs fan which was 2015 through 2020. Now he's gone. And just kind of does, signify the end of an era there. And there's probably gonna be, there's more moves. Wilson Contreras is in trade rumors. That sucks. You're talking about another guy who was on the 2016 World Series team. Then, obviously all the trade rumors with Chris Bryant. But they got all those guys through arbitration. They agreed to deals. The only guy that they didn't agree to a salary with all the big arbitration guys was Ian Happ. But that shouldn't be that huge of a deal. It was like less than $1 million that they were the difference between their numbers. But we're going to be seeing more trade rumors with Chris Bryant, with Contreras. It's been a while since we've seen the Cubs could move Javier Baez. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that's going to be the guy that they choose to extend with Rizzo. Again, I think fans are pissed off right now that Jon Lester, a guy who's in his decline, that he just left. Imagine if Rizzo leaves next year in free agency. That's going to be a complete disaster. Just a completely shitty time for Cubs fans. Sad day here as Jon Lester is on his way out. Joining Kyle Schwarber, who again, earlier in January, he signed a 1-year deal with an option year with the Nationals too. Pretty funny though, because they were always, they're always ribbing each other or Lester would make fun of Lester would make fun of Schwarber and some of his defensive plays in left field, and now they're reunited again, so Lester gets to shit on Schwarber even more. So good for those guys. No clue what the Cubs are doing. They're just going to be signing whoever they can afford, which at this point is just like minor league deals to fill out their starting depth. And the sad thing is, it's like they're going to... the NL Central's going to suck in 2021. No one's making moves. So they're going to get away with it. And at the end of the year, I still, unless they just unload everyone by the trade deadline, and it's like Bryant and Kimbrel, maybe they trade Zach Davies too. Oh yeah, I forget about Zach Davies. I guess he is in the rotation too. My apologies to Zach Davies. He's probably going to get traded in the middle of the summer too. The most annoying part for me is the way the messaging, I guess, through the media, you know, Jed Hoyer taking over, and after the Yu Darvish trade, he's like, you know, just because this deal, you know, we got like really young guys, because again, they got like 17, like a couple 17-year-olds, an 18-year-old, like a 20-year-old. It's like, you know, just because these guys aren't like on the horizon the next few years doesn't mean our timetable matches them. Like for the next time, we're gonna be really competitive or whatever. But like all these moves, like they're not in on anyone. And I'm not saying like it should be on like a Trevor Bauer or like even a George Springer, but like anyone. I mean, there's a report over the weekend. They're like out on Tommy La Stella. Tommy La Stella is too expensive for them. Like what the hell is that? It's just pretty annoying because they're still saying that they're gonna try to compete in 2021. I don't see any moves that make them actually trying to compete. So what are you trying to compete for? Pretty annoying. That's it really. I mean, at this point, I don't know. Bet on Cubs under. Whenever that comes out, bet on Cubs under for the win total for 2021 on Real and Whole Sportsbook. Because things just aren't looking good here. I'm talking about rotation. Rotation with a lot of question marks right now. The team, they haven't done anything to improve the player position wise. Just Cubs. Things stink for the Cubs right now. Cubs fans, this is terrible. Until next time, my name is Aldo. Again, click on the link in the description. You can unlock a $300 risk-free bet with Home Sportsbook. Use the promo code MOCKERY300.